Well, it looks like Falynn has finally signed on to be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Or has she? Now I know what you guys are thinking. Ryan, what are you talking about? Season 14 cast has already been decided. They have already started filming. So how does Falynn fit into all of this? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around some evidence that may suggest that Falynn has finally signed on to be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Now I know what you guys are already thinking. Ryan, they have already started filming for season 14. They have already chosen the cast. And how does Falynn fit into all of this? Well, kinfolk, I have some evidence that may answer that question. But before I get to that, I just want to first say congratulations to Falynn and Jalen for welcoming a beautiful and healthy baby girl. It is just so refreshing to see something so beautiful come out of all of this chaos of this past year between both parties involved. And I'm glad to see that their new bundle of joy has brought them so much joy and light and newfound happiness. And also, I want to say that the evidence that I have that Falynn may be joining or has already joined the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise is some evidence that was not from a source, was not leaked from anyone to me, but is some evidence that I happened to stumble across just that was laying around in plain sight. And most of the evidence came from Jalen and Falynn themselves. So let's get right into it. Here is the evidence that has led me to believe that Falynn has signed on to be a part of Real Housewives of Atlanta or is planning to sign on to be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Now, I will say this. Her signing is not necessarily for this season. However, you know they are still filming for season 14 and it does not plan to wrap, from some sources say, until around February or even early to mid-March. So technically there is still time for her to join season 14. However, my evidence suggests that she may have talked to producers and they have probably worked out some type of deal for her to join for season 15, most definitely. So, kinfolk, I know you want to know what evidence made me think of this video, right? So here it goes. On Jalen and Falynn's live this past week, they dropped two important jewels during their conversation with fans. The first jewel was that Falynn and Jalen plan on getting married in October of next year. So I know you're thinking, like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, traditionally, Real Housewives of Atlanta starts filming in the summer, and it normally wraps up in October. So if one is to believe that Jalen and Falynn are joining season 15 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, then once this new season 14 wraps and they start filming, then around October, November is when they start filming the finale. And what could be a good finale for Falynn? Her and Jalen's wedding. Now, I know that may be a long shot for some, but the evidence is there. Look at Cynthia. When Cynthia and Mike got engaged, a lot of people thought it was going to be a short engagement. They'll probably knock it out in 6 months. But what Cynthia and Mike decided to do was wait an entire year and do what? Get married in October. And what that did for Cynthia was it somewhat secured her peach for that season, because producers knew that they were going to be expecting a big lavish wedding in October that would coincide with the finale of them wrapping up filming for that season. So it's quite believable that Falynn and Jalen are taking a page out of Cynthia's and Mike's playbook. And then it kind of fits the whole narrative of, following Falynn and Jalen around, their first year as new parents, a new blended family, and planning a wedding. Sounds kind of familiar to the setup of Porsha's spinoff. A new fiance, blending their families, and planning a wedding. So that type of storyline is not foreign to Bravo or Bravo reality TV show producers. The second thing that made me realize that Falynn may be signed on for either season 14 towards the end or season 15 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, because some of you guys said that she alluded to on her live that she would be showing up on television screens pretty soon. Now that tidbit, I must have been away from the live or doing something else. I didn't catch that, but a lot of you Kim folks made mention to it on Twitter and on YouTube that she did make that or alluded to, popping up on television screens real soon. And so, that means if, you believe my evidence that she's joining Real Housewives of Atlanta real soon would be early next year. Because the way filming has been thrown in flux is this. Once season 14 finished wrapping and they start premiering, as soon as this finished wrapping, they're going to probably go immediately into season 15 filming. And if you believe that rumors are that Porsha's spinoff is not going to get renewed for a second season and that it was just a limited series, then that may push Porsha to go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise and that very lucrative check. And also that means Porsha would be forced to interact with Falynn and forced to interact with Jalen as well as Simon and create a storyline and explore the storyline that the two parties somewhat ran away from this year. So now you have two things working in Bravo's favor in terms of storylines, and also in Falynn and Jalen's favor in terms of storylines. Yeah, it may not be such a good setup for Porsha, but if she is forced to return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, then it all could make for a very interesting television. Now, Kimfolk, this is what I want to know. Do you think my evidence is somewhat spot on, or do you think I must be out of my mind to think that Falynn would go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise and film? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. And also, I want to know if Falynn and Jalen don't return to the Bravo reality TV show universe, what kind of reality TV show do you think they're going to produce? What would you like them to showcase if they did get their own spinoff on a different network? I would love to know, because Jalen and Falynn, when it comes to their brand, is pretty much a blank canvas. And they can take it anywhere they really choose to go with it. But I want to know what you as fans think they should go in terms of storylines and plots and content for their reality TV show if, they get their own spinoff. Alright, Kimfolk, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.